Greetings, friends and esteemed adventurers. Welcome back to part 2 of our Gargoyle Gladiator of Trog. In the last episode, we finished Dungeon 1 through 10. In this episode, we're going to go ahead and start the lair. So let's get started. When I first made this character, I didn't really want to do Trog, but I didn't find a whole lot of early altars, and then when I found the temple, there wasn't a whole lot else that really jumped out at me. There was no Oka. Rue would be really good, but every time I try to play Rue, I just die. So I'd rather play something that is a little bit more, consistent. So that's what I'm doing. I've got a couple identifies to use. I'm going to go ahead and identify the Wand of Acid. I'm also going to identify the Wand of Paralysis. Both of those are going to be quite useful here in Lair. And let's see, we'll identify some potions. And then we have a couple scrolls. Have we found... Well, I guess if we have found teleport, we'll just go up the stairs. Or haven't found teleport. Wow, do we really only have scale mail? Okay, so there is chainmail, and how about plate? Okay, we missed a plate. Let's go get that. We definitely don't want to be in scale mail going into lair. There we are. Perfect. Okay, I feel a lot better now with 27 AC. Awesome. So yeah, like I said, I think Trog is just a little bit more consistent. His abilities obviously are quite strong, and especially later on, like, I don't know, I found that a lot of my, sort of just one-off characters that happen to make it relatively far will die either in vaults or depths to something with magic, just because I either haven't found enough MR or because I haven't equipped enough MR. That's certainly something I am known to do. And Trog really makes that a lot simpler with Trog's hand. So that longsword might be fun to try out, but we've got Trog, who will gift us weapons here shortly. This Morning Star is going to do just fine for us for the time being. Not worried. I don't think there's any need to identify that. Glowing Battle Axe, which means it's probably cursed -11. I'm just kidding, that can't spawn. Actually, I wonder if it can. I'm assuming no, but because I kind of just said that as a joke, but it would be kind of funny if it could. Alright, so we've got Harold here. He can't really do a whole lot. That's too dangerous to us. Yeah, I don't feel like using wand charges on him. We'll just bring him here and then Berserk. Easy peasy. So we'll go ahead and drop our stones at this point. We'll drop the Ring of Ice too. I don't foresee them seeing a whole lot of use, and I'd rather have this net anyway. Now, obviously, I know that you can switch your quiver, but I'm not going to. So we'll go ahead and try out this ring. Ring of Wizardry, definitely don't need that. Trog's not going to allow us to cast anything. Alright, so we're in a bit of a rough spot here. The Rhyme Drake is going to slow us. The Axe are going to do quite a bit of damage to us. So we should probably come up with some idea to deal with this. We could Trog's Hand. I think it's probably not necessary. I'm going to just go ahead and Berserk. Yeah, this is fine. And we can run away from these yaks if we have to. Perfect. Another pack of yaks. I'll just pull them down into this hallway. So anyway, while we're kind of going through lair, at least in my experience, if I can get a character to lair, there's a pretty good chance I'm not going to die in lair. I have had some characters die in lair. Obviously, I've had some characters on this channel die in lair. But generally speaking, I can get through it okay. So while we're here, I figure, we can talk about some interesting stuff. Not sure what that is, but the new Knoll class, which is actually the third time that the Knoll has been changed since I started the game, just like 6 months ago or so. But I think it's really cool. So the +8 to all aptitudes, but you train everything at once. I think it's really neat. It's really fun to kind of just not think about skills. It's also kind of cool to know that just about anything you find you can put to use, which I really like that idea. I'm sure a lot of you, all of my 7 viewers have probably played Diablo 2, and that's actually how I play Diablo 2. Almost all of the characters I play single pass, I play them hardcore, I can't farm anything. I play through the game just once trying to get whatever I can, which means a lot of wacky stuff. I might find a wand with life tap charges, or a bow with a little bit of poison damage just so I can kite things around without them healing, that kind of stuff that most characters wouldn't think to use. I find that I do use. So I really enjoy that playstyle of kind of using whatever you find, and as much as I enjoy this game, I find that it tends to be a little bit limiting there, in the sense that once you kind of get your character off the ground, it can be a little bit difficult to branch out, and in a lot of cases it's just not worth it to branch out. If you've got say some kind of fighter, let's just make one up, a hill orc fighter, and you're worshipping, say, Okawaru or Phaedos, or it doesn't really matter, anybody but Trog. Say you find something like a book that gives, I don't know, like a high level cold spell that you want to use, or not Firestorm, because I don't really want to use a level 9 spell as an example here, but some high level spell. Let's say Shadow Creatures, because Shadow Creatures is really strong. Well, the amount of investment that you're going to need to use to get that working is really high. Now, I don't have a problem with that in and of itself, but what I find, and maybe I'm just completely off base here, but what I have found in my experience is that unless you're already invested into some spells, it's just not worth it, because you're going to have to use lighter armor. You're probably going to have to devote some points into intellect, which that part doesn't really matter. As much as I disagree with Demise on a lot of things, and a huge part of that is because I'm new and super naive, his whole stats are a meme thing I tend to agree with, because you only have 9 of them to work with, and so the 9 stats that you place ultimately shouldn't have that big an effect. So that part doesn't much matter, but you're going to have to take off your likely heavy armor. You're going to have to put a lot of experience into a spell school, or 2 or 3. You're probably going to have to wear some kind of ring of wizardry, or some gear with more int on it, things like that. And then all of a sudden you've made all of these compromises to use one spell. And the question kind of becomes, is it worth it? And in the case of one spell, it's not usually. Whereas as a Knoll, you don't really have to worry about that. Your experience is going to all be there. So while you're not a master of anything per se, you tend to be good enough to be able to use just about anything you run into, which I think is really cool. So that's my little rant about stats and skills and whatnot. So let's figure out a decent way to deal with this 6-headed Hydra. I think I found I did find a glowing Morning Star. So I think what I'll do is I'm just gonna, it's gonna gain a square on me right here, isn't it? Yep. Okay, I messed that up, because I was going to try and run up to the stairs while I had a space on him, and that was going to allow me to equip this Morning Star, check my rings, and identify the amulet we have. Didn't quite pull that off. We also don't have him in a spot where we can set him on fire with a burn spellbook. So I think I'm going to go ahead and get a bro going. That failed. Oh, 54% fail. Okay, I guess I'm not going to do that. don't have a whole lot of scrolls. We do have heal wounds. So we'll go ahead and berserk, and if we have to heal wounds, we will. But it looks like we're okay. Hydras tend to be not so bad if you have a mace and heavy armor. We have 29 AC, so let's go ahead. We'll kill the water moccasin. We'll go ahead and check this other Morningstar. Morningstar of draining. Okay. And we've got a cursed ring of teleportation on. I didn't realize that. We have an identify scroll, so we'll go ahead and identify our amulet. It's regen. That's fantastic. Put that on. And we don't need all these wands. I'm just not going to use them. I don't see any use for random effects or polymorph. We'll drop the scrolls of amnesia. And life is good. Lightning rod. I definitely want that. I may not train a whole lot of evocations just for a lightning rod, but it's just really great. Find a Hydra at the end of your screen, stick a couple lightning rods in it, and there's a decent chance that it'll die before it even gets to you. It also works like a bolt, so it'll pass through enemies. I just like it a lot. So we're gonna come over to the stairs for the blink frogs. It can be a little bit easy to get overwhelmed, and I don't know. And maybe this is just my bias, but I feel like if they get rather like closer to you dying, then they'll stop blinking and just start swarming. So I wanted them at the stairs, so I had an escape if I needed it. Awesome. All right. And I keep clicking off screen. I don't know if you guys are noticing that, but I keep clicking off screen. I can't even speak. I keep clicking off screen because I'm AFKing Blue Dragons in RuneScape for a Slayer assignment. I don't know if you guys play that game, but I do. So I'm just doing that on another screen while I'm doing this. It's just ranging them around a corner, so totally don't have to pay attention. Box of Beasts, that's another evocable I like. Again, I don't think it's worth training evocations for, but yeah. We're almost, we're actually just about at min delay for our mace. At that point, I think we will go ahead and train just a little bit of invo. But for now, we've got cool armor to try on. Okay, the +4 plate armor, Sia Thrao. Slow, RC plus, strength +2, and stealth +2. So we can ignore the stealth +2. The strength doesn't do much. RC plus is kind of cool, but meh. I forget what star slow does. Does that slow us every once in a while, or does it permanently slow us? Slows us when we take damage. It's also +4. So it will make it more difficult to run. Let's try it in a battle or two and see what happens. If it's too awful, then we won't do it. But that might be worth keeping on just for a little while. So, let's see. Can we, probably not gonna land a paralyze. How about acid? Okay, that can't reach it. But the lightning rod can. Oh, maybe not. Okay, we need to go a couple spaces closer. Boom. Easy peasy. Alright. We'll bring this merfolk around. Take him out. And we're good to go. Okay, so that Oklab was just guarding the entrance to Shoals. But, I don't know. I think that's worth killing if you can do it in a safe manner. Obviously, it's not worth killing if you can't do it safely, or if it's just guarding, like, slime pits or someplace you're never going to go. But that felt perfectly safe to me, so I'm fine with it. Alright, we'll go ahead and use our identify. Let's do some potions, and then we'll go ahead and read these scrolls. Okay, that was definitely a bit of a misplay. We'll recharge our Wand of Paralysis. We're about to teleport. We could teleport into something nasty, but I'm not hugely worried. And a Scroll of Immolate. I'm literally just going to drop those. Every single time I've read a Scroll of Immolate, I've ended up dead. So I don't feel like risking that. I realize that it's super useful if you can make it work without just killing you, but I'm not one of those people. And I'm going to go ahead and berserk on the redback. They I'm poison immune, so they can't do a whole lot to me, but they can attack pretty fast, so no need to get overwhelmed there when Berserk is pretty much free. I'm not even recording. Oh, okay, I didn't think I was recording for a second there. Oh man, I'm losing my mind. I went out to play poker with a friend tonight, and I think I used all my mental acuity in losing at poker. Alright, we've got a torpor snail and a death yak. That presents its own set of challenges. Can we paralyze either one? I know we can't paralyze the death yak. We could box of beasts. I think I'm just going to berserk though. I don't think any of that is really necessary. The only thing to worry about with the death yak is if there's like 6 more. Because then I'd be slowed by the snail, and death yaks can attack pretty fast. So I have learned, if you've watched any of the other videos on this channel, we've learned that torpor snail plus fast other enemy equals problems. Something's freaking out. I think I might have just lost internet. Okay, layer 3 is complete. Let's see how our time is doing. Alright, we're good. We'll just go ahead and tab through all the popcorn. No big deal. So as I said earlier, I'm kind of trying to follow Demise's Greater Player run. So I have one Hill Orc Berserker and a Minotaur Fighter. Both were online but not on video. So I'd like to do Gargoyle Gladiator, and then after that it's going to be, I'm going to kind of try 2 at once. I'm going to try to do, let's go ahead and do Ice Blast. Okay, I like the Ice Blast wand a lot. So yeah, we're going to do a little bit of both a Conjurer and a Hunter. So I think Hunter will do Centaur just because it's a classic, and I've played it a little bit and done pretty well with it, and it's quite fun, so going to try that. As for the Conjurer, I haven't really decided yet. I think the Deep Elf Conjurer is probably pretty difficult, which would probably be good because it'd be a really good learning experience, but at the same time I might just bash my head against it forever. So we might do like Draconian Conjurer. I've done that a few times. I've made it to Lair a few times. I've made it to Orc like twice. I really like Draconians a lot. It's one of my favorite races besides like Demon Spawn, which might be my favorite overall. So that might be really fun to do. I haven't really decided, but it's going to kind of be between Conjurer and Hunter after I finish the Gladiator. So the hope is that this is finally the Gladiator that wins it. That's why I recorded it. Like I said at the very beginning, I've lost a bunch to really dumb crap, and I'm kind of sick of doing that on quote-unquote an easy win. I'm pretty firmly of the belief that there is no easy win in Crawl, but I think Gargoyles tend to be about as easy as it comes. So Gargoyles and Minotaurs are probably the 2 easiest, at least, again, in my opinion. So the fact that I was not having success on a Gargoyle Gladiator was really bothering me. And I attribute it 100% to hubris and overconfidence and doing dumb crap. Or like I'd pick Rue on D4 type thing because I found it and it sounded fun, and then I'd make really dumb sacrifices and just get myself killed. So there's some gold and a scroll in there. We could I think we'll let the frog and the snake and the porcupine eat the plants so we can kill them. And then I really wish we had a wand of clouds. That would make this significantly easier. As it stands, I'm not really sure if this is something I want to deal with. I don't have our corrode. And unless that scroll is like acquirement or something, I don't see any reason to go in there. So we're just not going to bother. We'll call that done for layer 4. Moving on. Okay, we've got Kirk, and I have died to Kirk a couple times. Once on a Gargoyle of Rue, because I used Apocalypse. It didn't kill everything, and then she pigged me, so I was exhausted, and she slowed me. So I was slow as a pig, and I had one of her pigs chasing me, and I couldn't run from it, and I should have teleported a lot earlier than I did, and mistakes were made. So we're just going to be a little bit careful here. Let's see, do we have any wands that can kind of take her out of it? Paralysis, not going to do anything. Acid would do really well against her. Ice Blast would be a good one. Yeah, like right there. Awesome. Okay, so what is her chance to land Porculator? 64%. Okay. So I think what I'm going to do here, I'm going to hold off on Berserk. Hogs are fast. So if I Berserk, don't kill everything, and then come off the Berserk and I'm slowed, plus the slow from that armor, if that kicks in, I don't know if those stack, but I'm assuming they do, then we're just in a world of hurt. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and first Trog's Hand. That's going to give us some magic regen, or some MR, not magic regen. And then I'm going to go ahead, and we're going to Wand of Ice Blast again. I'd really like Kirk to just die. I can deal with the hogs pretty well. And let's do that again. Well, we can't hit Kirk with it, but we can hit these two. Okay, so we've got two of the hogs. Yeah, and with Trog's Hand up, she has basically no chance to hit us with Porculator. So I might be totally overdoing this, but I really, again, I don't want to die. I'm going to be conservative, and I'm going to try to do things quote-unquote the right way. So I think what I'm going to do here, I'm going to rest one turn, and I'm going to bring two of these up the stairs. Or three. This is fine. As long as I'm not slowed, I can handle all three of these. So, okay. I feel pretty comfortable about that. We took out most of her party, and we did it safely. So it did take some charges of Ice Blast, but totally worth it. We can just find a recharging, or use a recharging if we really need it. So let's go ahead and go down another stair. We'll come at that from another angle. We could go back down that stair with Trog's Hand up, but don't really see the need to do that when we can just come down like this. A single elephant really is no big danger. A pack of 10 of them is much more. Alright, Mr. Spriggan can't do a whole lot. Let's go ahead and Berserk, and we'll just tab through. Everybody say hi to JD.
Hello.
Hi, JD.
Hello.
How's it going?
Tired.
Well, then go to bed. Oh, okay. We've got Urug. Okay, well, he doesn't have any spells, so he'll probably throw javelins at us. They'll hurt, and we're slowed. So let's go ahead and come over here. We're not slowed anymore. We can't Berserk, which is upsetting. Can we paralyze the Mamba and run? I think so. Yeah, there's a decent chance. There we go. And I'm just going to use this opportunity to run away. Urug should not be able to kill us with his javelins in the time it takes us to get to the stairs. And kind of get our bearings back. So, we'll go down this other stair. No problem. Good night, JD. You want to close my door? You want to close my door? I'll let him out. It's fine.
Okay.
Alright, some real life stuff got in the way there for a second. That's okay. We only have one more charge of Ice Blast. We are slowed. So I'll go ahead and just bring the one up. As you saw, they can move really fast when you're slow. So we'll go ahead and get Trog's hand and come down. She really has almost no chance to porculate us there, and life's good. I find her to be quite an interesting unique. I think it's really cool that she porculated a bunch of humans to get them to fight for her, and when you kill her, they're freed as humans instead of pigs. And I think that's really cool. Jivia altar and a slime pit. Don't have any interest in any of that. Let's go ahead and Wand of Acid on Urug. Cool. I don't know if this is going to melt our net or not, but we're going to try it. Cool. So we got 2 applications of acid. He shouldn't have any chance to do damage to us, and he goes down like a chump. Fantastic. Bunch of yaks. No big deal. Okay, we have a dire elephant. I think this is a perfect opportunity for some more acid. Well, we can't acid him yet. Let's go ahead and lightning rod. Nope, we can't do that either. We can walk away though. So we're going to do that. We're going to try to take care of him just a tiny bit later. I don't think we'll get a level or anything like that before we take him, but I at least want to try to clear the rest of the level so we don't run into any dangers of like having something else to fight with him. And if that's the dire elephant vault, I know I've had it happen a couple times where that Unrandart whip spawns. I can't remember what it's called, but that might be what's going on here as well. I'm not sure. So, okay, let's go ahead and Berserk, and we should be able to just take care of him in Berserk since he's by himself. Wonderful. Okay, that wasn't so bad. And what do we have? We have an elephant vault, but not the one I was thinking of. That's okay. Man, Book of Battle. That'd be sweet if we weren't Trog. Okay, that's layer 5 complete. I think I'm going to call this video here. Next video, we'll take care of layer 6. Have a good day.